What's going on, everyone? This is Kevin Breeze here, and in this video, we're going to be comparing the BLU Vivo XL4 to the ZTE Blade Max View. So without further ado, let's get started. So both devices are available factory unlocked, but with the BLU Vivo XL4, you're limited to just GSM carriers, but with the ZTE Blade Max View, you can use this with GSM carriers and Verizon Wireless. So if you're a user of Verizon, the only phone you can use out of these two is the ZTE Blade Max View. Now the BLU Vivo XL4 is available right now for $129.99, and the ZTE Blade Max View is available for $169.99. So you can buy the ZTE Blade Max View for $40 more than the BLU Vivo XL4. Now, one thing I've noticed for both of these devices is that it seems like prices are always changing, so I definitely recommend taking a look at the link in the description to see what the current prices are for these two devices, because it might be different than it is right now at the time of me making this video. Now, the BLU Vivo XL4 features a 6.2-inch display, and the ZTE Blade Max View features a slightly smaller display at 6 inches. Now, despite the display on the BLU Vivo XL4 being larger, it does have a notch. So when you actually line up the two devices right up next to each other, you can see that you're really not getting a ton of extra screen real estate here, because you pretty much gain the two spaces to the left and right of the notch as far as extra screen space. So you'll have to decide if this is important for you, but in my opinion, the screen size is about the same on these two, because you do get kind of that negative of having the notch on the BLU Vivo XL4. Now, I don't necessarily think the notch is a bad thing, but you just have to keep in mind that you're not really gaining a whole lot by having the notch, in my opinion. Now you can see too that the ZTE Blade Max View has quite a bit more bezel space in the top and bottom than the BLU Vivo XL4, but both phones are pretty similar in size. The BLU Vivo XL4 features a 720p display, and the ZTE Blade Max View features a 1080p display. So you are getting a higher resolution display with the ZTE Blade Max View, but one thing that I've noticed in my testing of both devices is that both displays really do look good, and on the BLU Vivo XL4, the display is actually a lot brighter, and really it looks really crisp and clear. So even though the display on the ZTE Blade Max View is a higher resolution, when I hold the two phones right up next to each other, it's really hard to tell that one is a lower resolution than the other. Both look really good, and both just have awesome displays. So I wouldn't let the display be a deciding factor, but I do think that the BLU Vivo XL4 has brighter colors that kind of pop a little more than the ZTE Blade Max View, so you'll have to take that into consideration as well. But as far as the display goes, both phones do a great job in that department. The BLU Vivo XL4 has a 13 megapixel camera here on the front with a front-facing flash. The ZTE Blade Max View has an 8 megapixel front-facing camera with no front-facing flash. Both devices feature 32 gigabytes of internal storage with the ability to expand that with a microSD card. Neither of these two devices feature wireless charging, but they both have fingerprint sensors on the back, which is really great to see. Now also on the back are the two cameras on these devices. So both devices feature dual cameras, which allows you to get portrait mode on both of these. Now on the BLU Vivo XL4, we get a 13 megapixel main camera and a 2 megapixel secondary camera. And on the ZTE Blade Max View, we get a 16 megapixel main camera and a 2 megapixel secondary camera. Both devices feature 3 gigabytes of RAM internally, and on the BLU Vivo XL4, we have a MediaTek Helio P22 processor, and on the ZTE Blade Max View, we have a Qualcomm Snapdragon 435 processor. Now, I'm personally more of a Qualcomm fan than a MediaTek fan, but the MediaTek Helio P22 is a newer processor by MediaTek, and I've actually had a great experience using it with the BLU Vivo XL4. Performance has been really awesome, and it's kind of changed my opinion on MediaTek. So really, I'd give these two devices a tie when it comes to the processor, because both devices feature great processors that will give you really good performance, and as far as phones in this price range go, these are some of the quickest phones out there. Now both devices record video at a maximum resolution of 1080p at 30 frames per second, and both devices feature a 4000 milliamp hour internal battery, which is really impressive, because not even the iPhone XS Max has a battery of that size. So 4000 milliamp hours for the internal battery is just great. The BLU Vivo XL4 runs Android 8.0 Oreo out of the box, and the ZTE Blade Max View runs Android 7.1 Nougat, and I don't know yet if or when the ZTE Blade Max View is going to get updated to a newer version of Android. And I've also heard that BLU doesn't necessarily have a great track record on updating their devices to a newer version of Android as well, so you're probably just stuck with the version of Android that's on both of these devices. The good news though is that you really don't need the latest and greatest version of Android to use 99% of the features that Android has to offer, because most features are found through the Google Play Store and not through software updates. And now that we've gone over the specifications of these two devices, let's compare the hardware. So like I mentioned before, the BLU Vivo XL4 features a 6.2-inch display here, and the ZTE Blade Max View features a 6-inch display. Then up top, we have the front-facing cameras, we have a front-facing flash in the BLU Vivo XL4, which is something we don't have on the ZTE Blade Max View, and both phones have an earpiece up top. Taking a look at the left side of these two devices, on the BLU Vivo XL4, we have the door for the microSD card and SIM card, and that's it. And on the ZTE Blade Max View, we also just have the door for the microSD card and SIM card. Taking a look at the right side of these two devices, we also have the same setup with the volume rockers and the power button. Taking a look at the top of these two devices, on both of them we have the 3.5mm headphone jack, and on the ZTE Blade Max View we have the noise cancelling microphone. Taking a look at the bottom of these two devices, on the BLU Vivo XL4 we have the micro USB port and we have the microphone. And on the ZTE Blade Max View, we have the microphone, we have the USB Type-C port for charging and data transfer, and we have the speaker. So I do really like that the ZTE Blade Max View has USB-C. I really wish the BLU Vivo XL4 had USB-C because that's kind of the future and where things are going. Then taking a look at the back of these two devices, we have the dual camera setup, we have the flash, we have the fingerprint sensor, and we have the logos for the two brands. And on the BLU Vivo XL4, we have the speaker. Now, one of my frustrations with both of these devices is that the backs on both of these really collect a lot of fingerprints and grease in my fingers. Now, I always keep my hands clean when I use my phones. It's not like I eat Doritos or Cheetos and then I'm using the phones. But you can see just with normal usage, you can just see the grease on the back of both of these, and it's really unappealing in my opinion. That's too bad too, because I like how the BLU Vivo XL4 has metal here on the back, and I like how the ZTE Blade Max View has this kind of matte finish. I just wish these two finishes didn't pick up as many fingerprints and smudges. Alright, now that we've gone over the hardware of these two devices, let's now do a speed test doing some commonly done tasks on both devices. So let's start off by starting the camera to see which of these two devices is quicker at starting that up. So 1, 2, 3, go. It looks like the ZTE Blade Max View is first to pull up the camera. Let's now start up Google Chrome on both devices. 1, 2, 3, go. And wow, that was really quick on both, so it's kind of hard to tell which device was quicker in that test. Let's now start up yahoo.com. 1, 2, 3, go. Wow, that was also really close. It was really hard to tell in that test which device was faster at pulling up Yahoo. Let's now pull up Engadget.com. 1, 2, 3, go. And in this test, it looks like the BLU Vivo XL4 was first to pull up Engadget. And finally, let's start up this article here. 1, 2, 3, go. And it looks like the BLU Vivo XL4 was faster in that test as well. So this concludes my comparison between the BLU Vivo XL4 and the ZTE Blade Max View. I'm really interested to hear what you think of these two devices and which one you would buy to use for yourself. So let me know down in the comment section below. Now if you're interested in buying either of these two devices, or you want to see current pricing on them, then definitely take a look at the link in the video description, as I'll take you over to where you can buy these. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe to the channel as well, and I will see you in the next video. Take care and have a great day. Bye.